Session is going to start within 2 minutes. I request all the participants to fill the attendance form. Yes, sir, log out. Akhilesh sir, please you just open that soft video, sir, please. All the panelists. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Heartily welcome to all the participants, including professors, associate professors, assistant professors, research scholars, and my dear students to the webinar on Career Improvement Guidelines organized by Department of Chemistry, Geetham School of Sciences, Geetham University, Bangalore. Now, I request our Honorable Principal, Geetham School of Sciences, Professor Srinivas Garu, to speak a few words about the webinar.
Good morning to all the participants. As we are all excited, I am also very much excited and anxious to listen to this today's webinar on career improvement guidelines organized by Department of Chemistry, Geetham School of Science, Geetham University, Bangalore campus. It is my pleasure to invite our today's speaker, excellent academician and good motivator of students, Professor Akala Sivaram Krishna, Professor of Chemistry, Department of Chemistry, Professor in Department of Chemistry, Vellore Institute of Technology. The future depends on what you do today. This is saying by Mahatma Gandhi. As long as you have got passion, faith, and willing to work hard, so you can do anything and have anything you want to in this world. See, in our time, fate is decided by Brahma. We all believe that one. So now he is almost seems to be retired. So now he has given that opportunity to the human beings, that means they can write the fate by themselves in terms of building their career by themselves. So I hope this webinar will be very much helpful to improve their career. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. I request our departmental chair, Professor R. Venkatanath Garu, to speak a few words about the webinar.
So welcome to all. I welcome Professor Akalla Sivaram Krishna Garu. We are so thankful for accepting our invitation. So, Janathan, please take care.
Now, honorable panelists and most valued professors, teachers, and my dear students, it's my tremendous honor to introduce Today's our guest speaker, Dr. Akila Sivaramakrishna. We are indeed privileged to have noted academician and eminent researcher, Sri Dr. Akila Sivaramakrishna, as our speaker. Professor Sivaramakrishna is currently working as a professor at the Department of Chemistry, School of Advanced Sciences at VIT University, Vellore. He was the recipient of gold medal at the master level and received his PhD degree from Andhra University in the year 2000 under the supervision of Professor U. Murali Krishna. He has 10 years of postdoctoral research experience by associating with various eminent scientists from IIT Madras, Professor M.N. Sudhendra Rao, Professor Daniel Coast from the Ben Gurion University of the Negev, Israel, and Professor John Armas, University of Cape Town, South Africa, and Professor F. Gordon A. Stone, Baylor University, USA. His research interests include designing, synthesis, chemistry, and applications of organometallic complexes, and the development of new materials for water purification and chemical sensors. With enhanced knowledge gained from various platforms, Akila Sivaramakrishna published around 135 national and international journals in the reputed articles, and he has filed 2 patents, which is helpful for the respective society, that means mainly water purification. So with his expertise, he has guided many MSc students, BTech students, and PhD scholars with various funded projects from the government of India, that is DST, CSIR, DAE, BRNS, and IGCAR. In addition to that, he got several projects from the private institutes also, like VIT TBI, VIT RGEMS schemes, and he has guided and enhanced the skills of different communities. Your presence will make a lot of difference to the young minds in the webinar. The fragrance of flowers only spread in the direction of wind, but goodness of a person spreads in all directions. Undoubtedly, we are very fortunate to have such person for this commitment, immense patience, and responsibility to scale greater heights. So with this short note, I'm handovering the session to our guest speaker, Professor Akila Sivaramakrishna Garu.
Thank you very much, Janardhan, for your kind words. And good morning, one and everyone present, in the webinar now here. And so I would like to thank the organizers of this webinar, the Gautama University, Department of Chemistry, and the Gautama University, Bangalore campus. So before I just go to this, I wanted to say, every student, every job seeker wants to have a best career. So, so some of them actually they are being well guided. Some of them they look for some kind of support. So this my particular talk is going to address the students or job seekers in order to build their careers in an efficient way. So just a few suggestions from my side, and then you are most welcome to talk to me after this webinar, that I'll be available for you to share my expertise. Okay, so should I start the presentation?
Please, sir.
Okay,
please.
sure. Right.
All the panelists, please mute your video also.
Yeah, so just going to my presentation, you see that just before going to that, so the background is, so the present job market is very tough, and in particular now, with the corona crisis, so it's really tough, and then so a lot of competition and a lot of uncertainty present in the system. And then, so who will win the job? Like how, I mean, which position?
Sir, Akila sir,
yes.
Please share your screen, then talk, sir.
I shared it, right? No?
No, not yet, sir. We are not getting the screen.
Okay, just a minute. Can you see that now?
Now it is coming, sir. Make it full screen, sir.
Yeah, sure. So
Yeah, now it is
just,
visible,
yeah,
sir.
you can see that,
Now
right?
it is
Yeah.
visible.
Yes, yeah. So that's what the present situation is, not really easy for an average student. And that getting it, the required job is, it's not an easy job, easy task as well. So how to get the job and the desired job, and then so what are the requirements for winning a job? So I'm just going to give some systematic way, and the how to go further. My talk is going to have two different parts. The first one is the tools required for a wonderful career, like what are the requirements exactly to reach the target. Number two, I'm going to tell you the how to search a job, like by addressing the presenting our the skills, expertise, and then like proper way of job search, and then preparing a resume, and then so how to make the best CV out of our expertise, our our association with the university or college, and then how to face an interview. These things I'll uh, talk about them in the second part. Okay. So just when we come to the first one, the tools required are, I mean, for most of the students, I mean, for job seekers, it is extremely important. The first one is the focus, attentiveness, concentration in the class. That is extremely important. And I've seen, because being a teacher, I have been associated with various students at different levels. And I closely observed that a fraction of the students in the class, they're always very focused. They grab as much as possible from the teacher, and then they take the notes, and then they prepare well, and they come and take the doubts later on. So because of the attentiveness, they save their time, valuable time, for the remaining aspects. So they can do some research work, or they can go for some other activities. So thereby they'll be having multitask talents. They'll be able to develop their skills in different ways. And the second one is self-discipline. This is extremely important. So every student, he knows, or she knows, like what for they're doing, why they're doing, and how they're doing. So whether these actions or whatever that their habits, they're taking them to what level. So where they're going to lead to. So they have to analyze themselves, and they have to follow their their parents or teachers, and then their suggestions to make their life the best. And and of course you all know that if the discipline is not there, so the focus will not be there, and then everything will be a kind of disastrous there. So the third one is everyone should have excellent communication skills. See, I've seen several students, they cannot speak in English properly. So that makes their confidence levels down. So and also some students, they cannot write English properly. Of course, these are all like we can always learn, or can always improve our skills. And apart from the the writing and speaking skills, there are the other communication skills called body language. So body language is extremely important in any of the presentations, classes, or in interviews. So it should be very kind of attractive in a positive way. So the next one is this is extremely important, that one should have subject knowledge, a thorough subject knowledge. So where is the limit? I mean, there's no limit for that, but whatever the topics that see, nobody can learn everything. So there are some topics of interest that we'll definitely look into them, and then we'll go deep into them, and then we'll learn and we search for them. So you make your own, topics of like, like make them yours. So you are extremely good at that. So that way you can win the job positions, or whatever it is, the targets easily. So because some of the, I mean, interviews, usually most of the interviews, they ask the student, the candidate, that what is your, area of interest. I mean, if I mean, it will be given like that. Then if you're able to tell about your own area of interest, then you can swim in that, and you can impress them to win the job. So the next one, this is most important, but it is not really given much, kind of strength, to the undergraduate students, or in particular, BSc, BTech students. So and even some places, even MSc also, they don't have the research, facilities, research attitude. So this research attitude, that's what I have seen actually, that the graduation and post-graduation level, I've seen several students, they are able to go to the best universities, and then they've won the positions with a high amount of fellowships. So actually, when I analyzed them, properly, I found that so the research, projects, they helped them a lot to reach the position. So that's what I want to tell you, that everybody is having their own area of interest. So try to take the best out of that, and try to involve in some research projects that gives you a lot of confidence, and then you can just go further. So next one is, so you should have the trust to achieve something better. That's always like that. You have to always look for the betterment. So then only we can we can target ourselves, and we can learn more, and we can involve more in every aspect. So when we involve in the research projects, automatically we'll be awarded with the publications or patents, and sometimes conference presentations. They'll give a lot of happiness, lot of confidence, and then so these publications, patents, they will be always they'll be always with you forever, and they'll support your candidature for the job. So they're the like kind of weapons for for many of the jobs that they help you a lot. Okay. So these are all the important things. I guess what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to show you that few slides about the research, because it's mainly intended for the the students, those who are really looking for the kind of job, and if they have any chance for the taking up any research project, they can join and they can just take up, and so that helps them. And after this a few slides, I'm going to show you some of the innovations they happened in abroad in India, and how they changed the life of millions of the people. Okay, just I'm going to go see. I'm going to show you here that so this is 2007 data. I mean, I got the slide long back, and I see that so the world, you see that the USA has the major share, and the next one it comes to China. And this data was taken in 2007, and India, you see that the number is less. So still we are still running behind many of the countries. And you can just check the next slide here. This is the 2020 data. So the top 10 countries in the scientific research, you see that USA is still topper, but is having very tough competition from China. So they are going to be very almost close to them. And then you see the remaining countries, and they're all well-developed countries. And you can see the next one here on the right-hand side. The most innovative economies, you can see that in the world, that so these countries, they actually made a lot of contribution to the industry, and by spending a lot of money in the R&D, and they have lots of patents and value-added manufacturing, productivity. And so so it's a real scientific like world. I mean, you can see that they're doing a lot of things in the kind of innovations. So everybody, I mean, we have a lot of talent in India as well. You see that here, like how do we make how do we get inspiration from all this? So first thing is we have to know about ourselves, like like where do we fit. So I mean, I know that some students, with lack of the confidence or lack of the exposure, they don't know their talent. So some of them are extremely good. I mean, I could see in the classes, I could see in the laboratories, that if you just support them, or pad them, they'll just grow like anything. So so we have to know about ourselves, what is our strength, and whether where we can go, where we can what we can achieve. And so one thing we have to remember, that for a single job, the like highly paid job, for example, many well qualified candidates are waiting. So they're all they're in the queue there. So it's not easy to impress that. So we need to have, say for example, I want to tell you here that so there is a job that the employer he wanted to take one, like one he wanted to fill one position with a BTech student. So so we know that every year we have maybe I should say thousands of students that coming out with BTech degree. So how do they, like assess their, their applications? So most of them are having very good percentage of marks, and the CV looks good, but they pick only few people. So there, this kind of research experience will help the students a lot. So they are the additional weapons for them, and they can say that I have worked in this project, I have achieved this result, and this result we have used in so application. So that helps them a lot, and so that shows that your research attitude, and so that makes you confident, and that may lead to win the job later. Okay, so then like most of the interview questions, you see that they'll check your confidence levels. So introduce yourself. So then you should be able to talk about about yourself. What are you, and what did you achieve? So what is your degree? So anything special about you that gives very good impression there. And so I should tell you honestly that whenever we conduct interviews, 70 to 80% of the candidates will be filtered here itself, because we cannot you can see their confidence level. Sometimes just the 5 minutes of the interview, 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, that will decide the fate of the student. Because if they're not prepared well, if they are not not if they don't express themselves there properly, then they cannot win this. And then the employer may ask you, so what can you do for us? This is a very straight question, and you should be able to answer it. See, if you are the employee, you have your own company, you want to recruit somebody, so you expect always the best people for you. The similar way, they also expect the best candidates for their job. And then so most often actually that will the interviewers, they'll give a chance to the students that what is your favorite topic. This is actually a kind of boon for the candidates. If you are well prepared in particular topic, you can say that I love thermodynamics. You can say that otherwise I love you can say that some mechanical engineering topics, whatever it is related to you. Then you will be able to, they'll ask you a few questions and you can just answer the questions. So the interview time also will be, you can see that at the end of the interview, you will be answering most of the questions because you are in your favorite topic. So okay, so I'm just going to go to the next slide. You can see that here. So what I'm trying to tell here is that so the research is extremely important, and at the present conditions. So maybe you may not go for PhD later. That's different story. But so you should think different, and you should bring out your innovative ideas. And then you can I could see some of the students maybe coming from the village backgrounds, even 10+2 students, they have very good ideas. So but the only thing is they don't have anybody to support them. So that's what you just bring out the best, and you talk to the the professors or research guides whom you know very well, and you can discuss with them. Okay, so what we do in the research, so we are going to find out the information in a systematic and scientific manner. Of course, this should be kind of innovative. It cannot be kind of already known. We cannot really say that we are redoing it. Okay, so that's what you have to just find out. And so you can, somebody can ask like a question, so how do we choose it? So there are n number of problems in the society. So many problems are unsolved. Still we are all struggling. Every field you take. So just take one of them that you just sit with that, and you can just try to get the information from Google or from the library. Just read about that, and then just make your plans. Like, why don't we do like this? So that helps you a lot. Okay. This is the one to invent new things that that changes. A simple idea that can change the life forever. That we all know that very well. And to solve the already existing problem that has been giving a lot of there are so many problems. I'm telling you, when you go to the industries, for example, chemical industry or any industry, they have n number of problems as well along with their progress. So some of them they'll give the problems to the universities or institutes of as a consultancy project to solve the problem. So people will try a lot. There are some of them are very serious problems. So that's what you just try to find out some answers for the problems. That helps a lot. And so the best thing is that, to uplift the living standards. So this is actually to make the society a better one. So because by increasing the living standards, so we are going to have the best deal, and so we can live in a better way. And ultimately, for the students or job seekers, why do they do research? Actually, number one, for the self satisfaction. Number two is that they can get the best job out of that. So once you join the job, then you can improve your research skills, or maybe you can just go further deep into that, whatever the area that you want. But at this level, you should have that research attitude. Thereby, you will be able to take up any kind of challenge. So, so why I just want to give an example here. You can see that in a cricket team, usually they prefer the all-rounders. Because I mean, of course, batsman will be there, and a bowler will be there, but of course, keeper will be there. But so if any all-rounder is there, he'll be given more preference, because if any batsman, a specialist batsman, fail, then what happens? You can the all-rounder can click. It happened many times. So the proper all-rounder will be given the first priority. So similar way, if you have if any student or job seeker has this research ability, research attitude, like in terms of publication or patent, so they'll be given a chance. Okay. So then when you want to do research work, so you are really interested now. So then what we do? So first you are going to choose a topic that of your interest. So then you are going to but don't go too much deeper into that. So for example, now you can just search for because the COVID time, so it will be like you'll be at home, and you can search for a topic, and you can just through Google and get the information. You can make in a systematic way of you can just write a small review article or something like that. And then after that, you choose a guide or professor that you are really you like. So because so the teacher that maybe that very well, amicable, and he'll support you, then go to him and then talk to him, and then you can just get the guidance, and of course get the consent from him that he'll be able to guide you. So then but always select a subject that you can manage. So something is completely out of your like kind of what do you say, out of your choice. For example, then for example, I'm a chemist, but I don't want to do any project in like a pure engineering side or software side, because I don't have any expertise on that. So similar way, so we have to choose the one that we have at least some expertise in that. And then if we should avoid the subjects that are too technical or too specialized, because that is difficult to justify for you later. So it should be a simple fundamental problem that you are going to address. You are going to solve the problem there. Okay. And so how do we select a topic? So so it depends on what kind of career you want to have. So some of them, actually you have to check the the trends of the the job trends. Thereby you can choose accordingly. So so you have to see what kind of, for example, there is a job that you have in mind that you should get that job. Then just go to the research field that is relevant to that. Thereby you will be able to contribute something to the research field. Then you will be able to justify your application with in the interview, saying that this is what I've been doing and I'm suitable to that. So I've seen several students, they're planning their career like that. They know what is their target. So accordingly they'll just do their research work. They start like that, so to impress the the reviewers there. And so then if you are going for the higher studies or jobs in abroad, of course, so depending on that's of choice of your interest. And in particular, so better to take the the current like kind of topics. So thereby whatever the present research that is going on, so that you should look at the the research titles, and you can go to the journals, you can search their titles, and you can see like how they have done and how they performed the experiments, and then you can have some idea about that. And there are, I mean, just being chemist, I just want to give here, there are some like so many unsolved problems. So we all know about the photosynthesis. Can we really beat photosynthesis? No. how do we make chemistry environmental friendly? Can we really make it? No, because we're using n number of chemicals, n number of solvents. We never know. Most of them are maybe very toxic to the nature, or maybe some of them are they're friendly. So the products that we are making after the chemical reactions, they may be friendly, they may be toxic. So we have to check each and every one. We are using numerous solvents. So the solvents, you see that they're not all good for the environment. But we need to find out the solutions by using these the toxic chemicals sometimes. And can we design any drug that doesn't have any side effects? No. See, every person is different. So the molecule, how do they behave? We don't know. We cannot really assess them. So, and you see that we are all now facing the water crisis. So there are many areas you see that they don't have the drinking water. They've been struggling and they've been traveling for kilometers to get the water. So can we really, so now this is the present condition. Just imagine after 20 years or 30 years, what happens to the future generations? So can we really preserve the pure water for the future generations? That's a big question. So how do we make it? So we need to have proper planning now itself. See, all these, not only this, I'm telling you about the fuel sector, about the energy sector. So there are n number of problems associated there. So just you have to choose the right one there. So where do we begin? So it's the biggest question. So we have the ideas, we have the the professors. Then you just go and talk to the concerned professor that you are interested in this line. This is the topic I want to work. So get their consent and then discuss with them and get the the required support. That's the best one at this stage. And then you see that here. So we need to find out the information about the the research topic. So go through the net, Google, and Google is the best deal these days. When I was doing PhD, we were not having Google. We used to have a different way of getting the literature. Oh, that's really very hectic. We used to spend days, weeks together in the library, and with the lot of dust in the library books. But now you see that here, this is very easy. Within seconds, you will get the required articles and in the PDF form. So then, I mean, if it's still not possible, you can just go to the library and you can get the print materials as well. And then, so get the once you get the required article or articles, just evaluate them, read them, note down the points and what they have done exactly and what is the problem that you want to work. So whether then you can just proceed like from your point of view. And just keep all the bibliographic information that is actually about the differences, the work that was already done in the literature. And then you design a new scheme and discuss with your research boss and then just start working. So this is extremely important as an experimental part because without this is actually the key component in a research project. So experimental part is very important, and you have to follow the guidelines of the professor. How do we prove the concept, and how do we go further, and what are the the components required for this, and can we really make it? That artificial intelligence, all these things, you need to have some experimental part that you have to do. You have to develop softwares, you have to algorithm, and then you have to go further. In a similar way, you see that chemical engineers have to go for the reactor design, and they have to so already the equipment and the facilities will be available with the professor. Thereby you'll be able to go to them and you'll be able to discuss with them. So and then once you complete the experimental data, you are going to just go through that. You're going to decide whether it is enough or not by discussing with the professor. Then if it is required, you go for the further experiments, and then you just get the data, and then you're going to evaluate the data very systematically, and you're going to come to the conclusion. And this is what exactly is happening. And for example, one more thing is that, so conversion of carbon dioxide into useful products, that's one of the the present research areas. If you're able to convert carbon dioxide into other valuable product, that's really useful. So still the many people started their the research work like that. And so you just take any of the waste material that you're able to convert into the useful products, and in a systematic way, that will be really good. So you can just think of any of the plans, and after concluding your research results, you are going to put them in a systematic way, and you are going to then you're going to write a draft. So if the results are very important, they're kind of vibrant, then go for a patent. So just you can apply for the patent, the preliminary patenting application, and then then you just carefully read everything and change the sentences proper way. If it is some of the sentences are the same way that in the literature mentioned, you have to change the sentences, and then submit your draft to the professor, and he's going to give more suggestions, corrections, and then you will check it. So that's what finally you're going to submit your journal. But see, I'm telling you, like doing work is a getting a topic is one, and then working to the next level, that is different. And then after this, submitting a journal also is not easy, I'm telling you, because you need to like justify your work, why and how this is the best. How can you say that? You have to give the proper justification in the covering letter, then only the journal will read, and then they're going to publish it. So that's what you have to make it a bit innovative there. And so this is one of the important things you have to take care of that. So I know this is actually easy, copy paste from the internet. So, but nowadays you see that every journal, even every university, have their own plagiarism, plagiarism check. So they have the software. Simply they put the draft there, and then just simply say that your similarity index is 80%, 90%. That's all. See, some of the journals, they never take any article from the same person if they have the plagiarism like that. So because this is against the copyrights, and it is really unethical. So one should not go for the copy paste business. So should be, that's why if there are few sentences you see that they're similar, change, use your English in a different way and express them. And sometimes you just give the proper reference, or the sentence cannot be changed. You have to get the permission from the concerned publisher. I think that is another way of getting it. But usually, it is not advisable to copy paste any of the things from the internet or from the publications. So this is very, very important. And so how do we make our research project or paper very innovative? So by simply, we work, we get results. But always, whenever I submit, my research paper to the journals, I think about how do I make it in a better way. So then sometimes we don't get the ideas immediately. So we need to think a lot. We need to go through the several, literature, and then why they have not worked on this, why they have not given like this. Then you have to come in a different way. So one needs some lateral thinking skills. So this is actually, we have to develop such kind of out-of-box thinking levels. Then it is possible to, assess our research results, and then we'll be able to publish it. Okay. And so sometimes I should tell you, a small project that leads to huge research area. So once you're going to open the research area, so then you see that you can just go inside, you can find n number of opportunities to develop further. So that helps a lot. So I just want to I would like to share some of the amazing innovations happened in the world as well as in the in India. So a few things that what I found from the net. So this is one of the Ziploc bags. We all know that it's very simple, but that every village, every town, every city, every country, they use this. Millions of Ziploc bags will be they're available. So you just imagine their business. It's a simple idea. The plastic cover having kind of closing facility, right? So it's an innovative idea. So how it changed the complete world. And the next one you see that here, this is the waste shark. This is a bit high end technology, but you see that this is the simple this is a drone. It can actually it will be kind of on the surface of the water, but by floating on the water, it is going to travel from one end to the other end, and it will trap and trap the garbage that is floating on the surface of the water. And it can even be used in the oceans. So it collects all the waste, and it comes to the shore, and then it will be disposed there itself. So that's why we can clean the the lakes or rivers or maybe oceans with this without any problem. And the next one, you see that harnessing energy with fish scales by Indian scientists from Jadavpur. So fish scales are usually the waste materials, but they use them for a for different application. So it's a kind of innovative idea. And so we all know that super hydrophobic coatings. So these coatings, they will not allow water come closer to the materials. So for example, you take raincoats, or you take some other materials, textile materials, they cannot attract water at all. So such materials are extremely important for various applications. So this is one of the simple coatings on the surface. You see that will get the hydrophobic coatings. And so plastic textile could replace air conditioning. So this is just wear it in a kind of peak summer. Just you walk down under the sun, and you just your air conditioning inside will switch on. That makes the better feeling, right? So this is a simple innovative idea. I mean, that really helps. And so this is flying cars. I mean, this actually was designed long back, and now I heard some of the countries that are already using them. So flying cars are very useful for the future generations. So this is another innovative idea. And so you can see that 5 young Indian innovators, at UNESCO Airbus, competition, they just made their, they presented their idea. They won the best presentation award. So, innovation nanotechnology, you can see that. The Indian American, he developed a new rechargeable battery, thereby, that works, rechargeable batteries, we all know that we have the, right from the lead acid batteries to now lithium ion batteries, right? So the efficiency is good in lithium ion batteries, but, can we really make it better way? So like, maybe not every 2 days or 3 days, maybe can we go for a month, the charging capacity, a month, or maybe a 6 months time. That's what the research is going on now. Okay. So innovations in India, I mean, they're all very simple, but you see that they're really useful. So just you think in the direction of like, yeah, they have done it. How can we, like achieve such kind of ideas? So can we see there are so many problems. So there are some failed models also, failed designs. So can we make some slight modification to the failed ones, and thereby we'll be able to, make them better? So that is also possible here. You can see this is one of the innovations that in a simple bindi that is actually that contains iodine. So iodine is extremely important for the woman. So you see that iodine source must be there. So this bindi, by putting this bindi, so that iodine will can go through the skin to the body, thereby it helps the woman. Simple idea. So you don't need to take orally. It simply you can just put it on the forehead, and that works. That helps. And so this is one actually, Dr. Narayana Pisapati, you can see eat with it and then eat it. So this is actually to avoid plastic. So we all know that harmful effects of plastic, maybe we don't see immediately, but surely it will be there. And so it depends on what kind of, the polymers we are using in the plastic. So what kind of additives we are using there. So everything depends on that. So he came up with a solution, and then you see that, so no waste is generated. Simply you just eat with it, and then you can eat that as well, the spoons. And we all know that, this was, least expensive car, nano car. So when I was in abroad, actually, many of my friends, they used to ask me how it is possible just for $2,000. How do you get a car like that? So actually, it is really, good for us, but of course, we have to, of course, every system has its own limitations, but, this is really a proud moment for India that, so many people have, the dreams to have, have a car, but at least, they'll be able to use it. And so you can see that, the pedal powered washing machine. So this works in 2 different ways. One is that you are going to just pedal it, thereby you will be able to get the nice exercise, physical exercise. And of course, simultaneously, it works as a washing machine inside. So both the things will be done at a time. So So two birds at a shot, you see that. And then you see that this is actually Mr. Dwarka Prasad Chaurasia's, innovation, that water walking shows. You can just these kind of things can be used on the, like on any water surface, and particularly, during the flood times, and you can help the people. This will be really useful. And so there are some other innovations that you can see that, can be renewable water system. And and then even energy systems, there will be able to get, energy, like, electricity from water. Maybe you can say that hydrogen energy from water. Then heart rate analyzer, so blood alcohol detectors. There's still all these systems, though there are some known, technologies, but still there are, possibilities for the betterment. So, and you can see that cancer, treatment, and molecular scanners. So these are all still the work is going on in this direction. And so one more thing, budget driverless car. We can see that this is, it just takes you to the destination of the required. So it will be very, useful, very handy. So you can just avoid the accidents, and then it will be, the best idea. But of course, it takes time, a lot of time to come to India. And then one more thing is that it's a luminescent marine bacteria that makes the tree's stems to glow. You can see here that among all others, this particular one is glowing. So this is one actually, kind of, the development in the scientific research. You see that this can be made like that, thereby, so automatically it is going to emit the, light. And the pocket scans, you can see here that, so this can translate any language and into, whatever the language you want, say either English or Hindi, whatever it is. So this is a markerless scanner. Is really, very good innovation. I'm just going to, stop there about that. And just I wanted to just tell about our recent, research work. Just only for 2 slides I'm going to show you here. So for the water purification, there are so many materials available, right, from the resins and, so many other, new materials. But still what happens is, every system has its own limitation. So water purification is going to be, but in particular, the wastewater streams from the industries is a big challenge, because they have n number of things in that. We cannot use that wastewater treatment directly to our, household, water purifiers, because, it's not meant for. You need to have the pre-treatment, then only you'll be able to use it. So, and also zero wastage of water is the slogan for the industries. They should not waste any of the water, that is given to them. So they have to reuse it, they have to recycle it. That's the rule for the industries. So under these conditions, we have taken up an industry consultancy project for the water treatment. And what happened, we developed a material called Metgon. So using all these are all, you can see chemical engineering students at VIT. So they made this possible, but they worked really very hard. So then what happened, you see that here, we have taken a material, and this material, when you, you can see there are 2 flasks here. This is the one you have the 2000 ppm of chromium solution. And then after treatment with this material, you can see that the color of the chromium has come down into the material, and then we got it. This is actually recyclable. You can easily recycle this material. So then what happened, for the convenience sake, what we have done was we made that material into the bead form like that. So this bead, actually, we can, fill it in a column, and we also tried on the large scale, designer. Large scale, reactor, and then we attempted to remove the, the impurities that present in the water. It worked actually. So we are now making it in large scale with the industry. Thereby, we'll be able to, give the material to them. Okay. So now I'm going to come to the second part of the presentation, that is like, having, the attentiveness in the, in the class, or, in the, like whatever that job that we do. And number 2, we are going to have very good communication skills. And then we are going to have the self-discipline. Then next one, we are going to have the, the sound subject knowledge or technical, aspects. Then apart from these four, because many of the students, good students, they have all four. So then what happens? They are going to compete with a job. In the same job, they're going to apply. They'll be in the queue. Then the percentages, you can see CGPA will be good for everyone, and everybody will be having, they answer the questions. But what makes you special? That's what the question it comes. So then they can just take out this research, is a weapon for them. You can just say that I've done, 2 research projects in a BTech. I should tell you honestly, some of the students at BTech, level, having 4 to 5 research publications. I've seen in VIT as well, even outside also some students I've seen. So some of the students have 2 or 3 patents at BTech level. So that really makes their, them like most valuable for the company, because they know how to do the work. They know that they got very good training. So when you just take out that, I got 2 publications, or I got a patent in this, we have been working on this like that, then immediately you'll be preferred, because they want a person, who knows the job very well. That's the preference will be given there. Okay, apart from the CGPA, apart from all other regular academic activities, this helps you a lot. So that's what I found. The student who is having the research attitude, I mean, I've seen they're being, being selected for jobs very easily. Even students, they called me back and they told that helped them a lot. So that's what I'm closely observing them. I just assess the students sometimes, based on their interest. Okay, based on this, I'm able to tell this fact. So how to win a job? So I'm just going to just give you few, like guidelines here. That so what are the factors that to consider for the job search? For example, sometimes I've seen that students will just simply send their resume to different people, to everyone, but and covering letters randomly, but it doesn't really improve your skills. So because you have to they have different types of expertise. They are completely different in terms of their research work or their kind of background, so they cannot really help you. And then so you just you have to select the employer, for example, which company you want to apply, or which institute, which university you want to apply, and which professor. That you have to keep in mind. For if it is in kind of masters or PhD, you have to think about the professors, and you just keep them in mind, and you can first ask them. So that's the best way of approaching them. Next, whenever you see that before you go for the job search, you need to know first what is what are your strengths, knowing yourself, what are your weaknesses. That is also very, very important. I should tell you, when I, for example, students will put me as a reference for their PhD or maybe job applications. So sometimes the employers, they will ask in detailed information. So sometimes I get calls from them. They say that, are you sure about this candidate that he's asking for this job? What, can you give the more information? What are his weaknesses? They'll ask me about his weaknesses. So like about the academic weaknesses, something about strengths. So that's why what happens, you should impress the referee very well. So whoever giving the reference, that you should give the proper information. And then sometimes they will they want the best, no doubt about it. Everybody wants the best, so they always look for the the best application, and the reference will work a lot in this case. And then you should know about the market. So what kind of jobs are being now taken? So which jobs are like more jobs are available in the market? Of course, we should try that. And then keeping yourself very active. See, sometimes what happens, for example, this COVID time is there now. If we are all sitting at home, but what you should do is just whatever the area that you are interested, just look for such kind of presentations, webinars or maybe conferences, virtual conferences. Just attend them, and you can just note down them in your CV saying that you attended these. So that means that you're active, you're still, you want to learn more, and you want to improve your skills more. That helps you a lot. And so whatever the resources available with you, you have to use them efficiently. So all these four are very important in order to start your job search. And so when you see that the employment trends, actually before you start your job, so you have to estimate what kind of jobs are being now available. So then usually what happens is, see, you have to always, have the ability to, stick to the job. But, there is, I mean, of course, when we get a better opportunity, usually what happens, many of the people, they shift to the better, the better places. Depending on their requirements, they'll go, depending on the personal reasons, sometimes, professional reasons, they'll move. But, so of course, we want the, the best, at the end. So that's what one needs to have, the flexibility, adaptability, and good oral and communication skills. Of course, along with the subject knowledge. So these things, they only help you always. So you cannot depend on the reference always, because reference letter will be given based on your CV only. So sometimes what happens, maybe, sometimes you have to sell yourself to the company. So there are, I could see some people, they're extremely good, the way they talk, the way they impress. Sometimes they'll blow it up, their skills, the little is there, but they blow it up in such a way that it's really completely different. But, that is also not good sometimes, you have to be like kind of balance everything. So because if such people, when they're exposed to such kind of, high quality environment, they cannot withstand. So they'll be sent out. So that's why we should be very honest in this aspect. So you have to update your skills, knowledge in the important areas. I'm just, because being a chemist, I wrote many of the chemistry aspects here, but just you can just take any of the your related field. So just be thorough in the in the subject. So what I suggest you is actually go for the for BTech students, they should qualify the GATE exam. So whenever you have the GATE score, that really saves you a lot. So these days, most of the government jobs, I mean, they prefer the the candidate only based on the GATE score. So GATE is extremely important. Of course, that's true. So whenever you have the subject knowledge, then only you'll be able to clear the GATE. And then similar way, master students, they should have the GATE as well as CSIR examination. That makes them very confident. So people without any second thought, they prefer them for the job or for the research position. So there's no second thought. So but apart from that, of course, you should have your own area of interest. Like you should be having the that biased nature for some of the topics. Oh, you love them, you make them yours. That's all. That helps you a lot. So that's what every person is different. They have their own style of understanding the subjects. They'll be able to get the subject knowledge based on their interest. So then when you go for the job search, you see that we are going to have the, of course, we search through internet. Sometimes we'll go through some kind of university websites, or maybe through known persons, and so we'll search for that. And then sometimes what happens is I just seen some students like that. They go to the concerned industry, or professor directly in the university, go and knock the door, say that I'm so, take your CV, your updated CV, and just talk to them straight away, saying that I'm so and so, I'm very much interested to work. This is what my quality. That really shows that when they meet the person physically, that impression will be different. And moreover, sometimes it works that maybe they have to advertise, and they have to get the differences, and all these things can be avoided. So if the person is, if you impress them there, that there is a great chance for you. And of course, through the network contacts, you'll be able to make it through current workers, co-workers. And then so of course consultancy is there. So they also able that they'll be able to provide the job opportunities. So this is the one, you see that when you contact a person, when you contact a person in the company, or our company, you see that they will ask you to give a presentation. So usually, mostly what happens is for 15 minutes presentation, you have to tell about yourself and your achievements, about the research work, something like that. And then what happens about, maybe if it is management side, or you can see that marketing side, you have to have your goals, how did you achieve them, everything you have to explain. You have to explain them. And so the 15 minutes time presentation will decide your whether you will be there or not in the job. So, and for the industries, they'll go for the technical presentation, and a research seminar for the academic institutions. So Most of the, the best institutions, what they ask is just give a talk, in a research talk, in an open forum. So when you give the research talk, what happens? You will be able to, the audience will ask you questions, and they'll check your confidence level, they check your language, they check your ability to answer the questions, and they check your, the body language, everything. So then after they go for the personal interview. And some of the, industries I've seen actually in abroad. I mean, India, I don't know much about that, but in abroad, they go for the, the art of dining. So they personally meet, kind of as a casual, dinner. But there, what happens? They'll assess the behavior of the person. So how he's behaving, because they're going to work in a kind of confidential project, and they're going to have the like clear mutual understanding, and then to go further as a team they have to work. So some people, they're extremely good at, the research skills, or subject knowledge, communication skills, but no, it is difficult to be a team member, because they don't, work together. So they want to have the, their work only to be highlighted. They want to have, their name only to be highlighted. So what happens is, such people, of course it's true, but one sense, but other sense, you see that, so he is not a team worker. So then they don't prefer them. So it is extremely important to be a well-balanced person under any conditions. If it is a teamwork. Sometimes they may ask you in the interviews that, so do you work in a team, like that? If you say that yes, I'm a team worker, I love to be a team member, like that, then that may sound a bit negative also, because so you are dependent on some other people in the group. Then no, you should say that I am able to work individually, or if it is required, I can be a team member as well. That means that you are, both ways, you can work well. So that's the message you should give. Okay, this art of dining, I heard from a friend that, he experienced some kind of interview like that. He says that it is, it is very, very difficult to, be pleasing them there. I mean, because they just put a lot of questions, and the whole time you'll be observed there. Of course, that's one of the best jobs in the world. Okay, right. Okay, so you see that here we need to have the personal assessment. That is, we need to know about our skills, abilities, values, and needs. What is actually required? So about that you have to balance everything. And you see that here, this is what actually I liked it very much. So drivers, always you see that we are we are traveling in a vehicle. So the driver's role is extremely important. He has to balance. You have to challenge. You have to take you there in time, and the security of the the vehicle, security of the persons who are traveling in the vehicle, as utmost important. And balance is also important. See, when any driver, he takes a vehicle kind of in a smooth way, without any kind of jerks, and in a systematic way, we don't even feel that we travel. That's the balancing. But some drivers, they just make a sudden break, make you push, pull, something like that, or a lot of disturbance will be there. So that's what it is. It depends on the driver. Some drivers are extremely good. That's what it should be. So we need to have such kind of well balanced in our CV, in our in a career. So you need to have the skills that you have to identify which area you will excel, and you see that whether your skills are matching to the employer's requirement. That is extremely important, and then only you will be able to convince them. And so you have to include all your skills that is required to the specific job, and you have to answer all the questions, most of the questions in interviews. But the that should be with confidence. And I should tell you one more thing, a small thing. So whenever any person comes to the interview, so I mean, I've seen my experience that a good number of, most of them, they're you can see that they're have kind of anxiety, and then fear, some kind of they don't really feel comfortable. So when they come inside, the best thing is that look into the the eyes of the the reviewers, or interviewers, and then say that nice smile, with a nice smile, you can say that good morning. That really makes very nice, the very nice first impression. Then so when they'll ask you to come and sit there, and when you sit there, they ask you, so just the first question they ask in general is introduce yourself. I mean, this is actually a 90%, most of the maybe 100% interviews it happens there. So introduce yourself. Then there's a nice way of telling about yourself, and in a crisp way, maybe 2 lines, 3 lines in an efficient way. I think better to prepare for that. I know most of the students they fail there only. So what happens? They cannot express. Sometimes they give unnecessary information there that that irritates the interviewer. Sometimes they don't give the information that they really have. So they simply they say that name and they leave it. So that's not a good way of playing. That's why you prepare well for the effective introduction. That helps a lot. Then what happens after that? Usually this is the next step. Then usually what we ask in any interview that, hey, did you do any project at our BTech level, or did you do go for any internship? Just we want to assess their expertise, their interaction level. But if yes, some students say yes, I've done it, but some students they have the thesis in their report in their hand, but they are afraid to speak about that. So that is completely negative. So prepare well. So interview is there for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You should be able to prepare well for that, and that is going to decide your life, right? So then some students, sir, can I go to board and explain you the concept? Amazing, is going to steal the show. That's what the confidence, right? So when you really do that work, when you are really confident about the concepts, you are telling that, can I go to the board and explain you? People love it, I'm telling you. So that helps you a lot. So one should have such kind of, that's what you need to have practice. See, most of the students, what I feel for the interviews whenever they come, so they don't have any kind of, mock, interviews. They need to have some kind of experience that helps them a lot. So then you know how to answer the questions. You will come to know what kind of questions you get, how to answer the questions. So best for such kind of interviews, one has to prepare well. Otherwise, interviewers cannot be successful. Okay, I'm just going to go to the next one. You see that here. So the next one is, of course, we assess ourselves very well, and we know where to apply the job. Now we have to make our resume very well. So resume is nothing but making ourselves very nice, decorative way. So we are going to just write a very nice impression by seeing the resume. I should tell you here, when we receive some resume, some kind of applications, there will be numerous mistakes in that resume. Right? When you write only a few sentences in the resume and bulleted points, not even full sentences, but there itself we find a lot of mistakes, a lot of spelling mistakes, or maybe sometimes meaningless, kind of information. And so those things will give bad impression about you. So better when you make your resume, just you make it, you put all points. If you are not confident about your writing skills, and even though if you are confident also, go to the expert that you feel, or your boss or somebody, and or your brother, sister, or your friends, ask him to correct it. So like that, at least 2-3 eyes will check it, and they'll find the mistakes. Then you can clear it up. So that's the best way of correcting the resume, and they may give you the like better suggestions as well how to represent that. Okay, and next one, you see that you're going to have the it should be, the resume is usually very short, so no need to give the complete information. So what happens, maximum 2 pages, but all important aspects will be filled in. Then so what happens is it should be logically organized. It should be read clearly, and it should be given an attractive way. But nowadays you can see that most of these model samples are available online. You can just check them carefully. So what happens, the most important thing here is when you make your resume ready, so please give the accurate information. Don't give any wrong information there, because that leads to serious problems later. So because you say that you know how to split water into hydrogen, oxygen, and you have developed a device, for example, something like that you are writing, but they don't trust, because it's possible, but it is still under the construction way. So then they'll ask you so many questions about that. So if you know about that particular topic, then only you'll be able to answer it. Many of them, they'll be caught such kind of situations, and they lose their job directly. So, and the next one, you see that So usually employees, they'll check your history. So where did you work before? What happened there? So sometimes they may dig the more information as well. That's so better to have the cordial relation with everywhere, wherever you are. And so if any resume that is poorly written or not very well organized, and it is difficult to read the sentences, or sometimes the font sizes will be completely varied, so then what happens? And they also find that your topic is, I mean, whatever the the information given there is irrelevant, incorrect, and it is not good. Then what happens? They stop it and they'll put it in the dustbin. And of course, it will never be taken there, even though you have some credentials, even though it is actually worth to go there, but because of the poor representation, it cannot be taken there. That's why. So this is the best impression you will be able to give, right? Yeah. So for example, I'll tell you, I mean, I used to tell my students this one: when you go to a market, you have wonderful for example, apples there. Apples, they look amazingly good, the fresh, and exactly the size that you wanted. Then what happens? And there is next to that, there is another shop. You see that apples are, you can see that they are not properly, there are some apples, good apples, but the other apples you see that they're, completely, old. Maybe you can see that, some side, they have some kind of, like a problem, something like some, rotten or something like that. Then so which shop you prefer? You go, obviously go to the the person who is having the bright apple side, right? Because I mean, even though there are some apples good in that, but you don't prefer that. Simple thing. So the presentation, how you are showcasing your abilities. So this person is extremely good in how he knows how to present them. He's attracting you, and this person is not. And also the person who speaks about the apples. No, no, they're freshly today morning only we received them. They're amazingly good, very tasty. He says that. The other person doesn't talk anything. Simply, he'll be quiet. No, whoever talking to us, who is conveying message to us, we only go to him, not to the other person, right? Simple. We are selling ourselves there in the interviews, or by sending the resume. That's what I want to convey here. And so curriculum vitae is slightly different from the resume, that it's going to be more detailed way. Curriculum vitae is all the information, names, and the publication details, everything will be given there. Okay, it's slightly wrong. Sometimes both will be treated same, but there's a slight difference technically. Sorry. Then you see here, when you make the resume ready, so what happens is the recruiter will be just looking at the resume just quickly like that. If he finds any mistakes or any kind of substandard way of presentation, he doesn't go to the second page. I'm telling you, just simply they'll keep it aside. So that's what the impression is. First impression is the best impression. And then you see that, and the format, how you take the font size, how you take underline, how you take the bold, where. So that makes a lot of difference there. And so next one, you see that, and also whenever you take your resume like that, just make sure that it is a high quality paper, and nice way of printing, and not kind of like printer problem, something like this should not be there. Okay. And then you see that next one, we are going to go for the next one, that is about the how to make the draft. So it should be very good English, simple English, but very nice way. And then they usually prefer active voice, but of course it is not really mandatory. You can also use the other one. For example, designed experiments for the the structure of materials. You can say that our experiments were designed. Instead of that, that is more striking. That's what they say. And then you see here, don't use I, me, my. That doesn't give a good impression. Of course, in most of the cases you're not alone, right? You're any research project or any achievement, that will be done by your team only, or maybe with your professor, right? So so then but some cases actually, I mean, most of the cases, the personal data like race, height, weight, marital status not required actually. So but they don't reveal in abroad actually. That's what I have seen. But in India, some cases they specifically ask, there you can give, otherwise not required. And so what are the enclosures you are going to have the with this your resume? That a cover letter must be very concise. Don't write unnecessary things in the cover letter. And then it should be how you're useful for the company that you have to highlight. So you can say that, as you note from my resume, that I've been associated with this kind of work for a long time, or for 6 years. So I myself, you can say that eligible for this job, something like that. And list of references that they help you a lot. So that the person should be immediately available, and they should give a positive, you know, positive support to you, to your application. And then of course you have any accomplishments or achievements, the list should be given there. And of course any summary that you want to give, a graphical presentation of your research work, or any technical project that you have done, that really helps you. And so once you make it everything, you can just give the details in a way, in such a way that analysis and R&D skills. So the prepared and analyze the materials. If you are if you belong to material science and material technology, then the process development, something like that, you can just give them in a kind of in a striking way. So usually they say that heading must be very kind of concise and in a big font. And then of course objective must be given to in any of the resume or CV. So objective is that you are going to tell the employer that what kind of employment that you are looking for, and what kind of position that you want, you are searching for. So these things will be given to the information will be given to the employer, thereby they'll be able to take you there. Okay. So for example, some of the objectives, you can see that a research and development position in the pharma industry, that's one. Another one, you can see that analytical skills. So the third one, you see that senior marketing, research and planning position. So depending on your area of expertise, you'll be able to make the objective, and then you'll be able to give the striking objective. And so you are going to highlight your everything in the bulleted points, and then education should be given. Of course this is up to your choice. So you can just give the highest to lowest you can give, and then you can explain about the percentage of marks there, and which college, which university, affiliated to which university. Those details can be given. And if you are able to write your supervisor of the research project, that will be also an asset to you. And so you can see that if you have done any short-term jobs or volunteer work, see social service, that really helps a lot. And then because that they understand that you are able to, you are ready to, or you are willing to help the society in many ways. So that is actually an additional advantage for you. And then any awards that you have received, that speaks about your ability. And then of course publications, patents or presentations will tell about your research interest, and so you want to contribute a lot to the society in that way. Okay, so and the references should be given like about your PhDs, I mean your supervisor or master's level or BTech level project guide. And or if you want to have somebody else that they know you very well, they can also give you. Of course, remember this, most of these days, I mean in abroad or in India, so the references will work a lot, because they contact the reference person immediately. They want to know about you more. So so sometimes I could see that, of course, maybe some of them, they really depend on your ability. Of course, that is also there, but they want to have somebody to support you, that yes, I know him very well. That helps you. So then you can see that other considerations, the personal information, and I already discussed about that. I think don't write the hobbies there in the CV. I've seen several CVs, they say that I love singing music, I love cricket, football. They don't really need all those things from you, because they don't want to take any note from that. So don't give any such kind of things. So then if you want to really write your hobby, just say working in the lab or working for the research project. That shows that you are really into the research work. Okay, that helps you maybe. So and so before you go for the submission of your CV or resume, so make sure that you are it is completely error free, and you see that send to your friend or colleague or family member who can really read that, and who can help you in English, as well as the construction of sentences, or maybe giving some innovative presentation idea. So go to them and get the corrections done. And then so this is very, very important. There should not be any typo mistakes. If typo mistakes are there in any CV, usually that is a negligence. That means that tomorrow you will be the same person. You are going to work in the office. So since you can't recognize your mistakes, then there also you do the same mistakes. That's what they analyze it. And you see that difference, the person, whoever they're going to give a reco letter, you should inform them well in advance. Thereby they'll be ready, which company, how to talk about you, like that. Okay. So if anything that, you feel that like special accomplishments and any, appreciation letters for you, better you can attach along with the CV. Thereby what happens, a resume, thereby that gives you support, they directly see that, yes, you got the, evidence. Of course, the covering letter, I told you before that, it should have the, very concise and less than a page. And letter should be addressed to the specific person. And then, so make sure that, there is no mistakes present in the covering letter. And it should be a simple English, but, it should be a bit striking way. And so you are going to write about the reason why what for you are writing this letter. And you are going to mention any advertisement number is there that you're going to highlight there. And then you're going to give the description of your skills or expertise in, in 1 or 2 lines, maybe 2 lines, 2 sentences, and according to their needs. So that helps, the person who is reading your cover letter, he can assess you, okay, oh, he is connected to this, that's why he's writing. Okay, so that gives the best impression. Okay, so remember, again, I'm telling you one more time, that any errors in the covering letter or resume, grammatical errors, or maybe typo errors, so they will damage your chances of getting a call letter for the interview. Because so nobody, even if you are the employer, you want to take somebody, you get some letter from that, oh, you see that, oh, it's not really good at English, so he's maybe not, it's not really the compulsory one, but you should give the impression that, oh, this application is clear, very well written, oh, very good, very nice. That should be like that. So job format, depending on the job nature of the job, you are going to change the CV or resume, and based on that you are going to give the for the curriculum vitae, you are going to give the list of the publications and presentations, and in a detailed way that helps them to assess you in a better way. Because so many of them, they'll be applying for the job there, and it is going to be like that. Okay, then you see that you are going to give the description of your research work, a proposed work. So many of the academic institutions, they'll ask you what kind of research work you want to continue here. So better to give the proposed work and what are the resources required for that, and how do they match with the institution. Then you'll be able to justify them. Okay, so this is how we are going to make the curriculum vitae. So then I'm just coming to the last one, that is interviewing skills. So this is the one, actually the resume or CV will bring you to the interview level. Of course, we know that, I mean, it's 1:10 only one job is there, 10 people will be called for the interview. So remaining 9 people, though they are good at the CV level or the resume level, but the interview they cannot make it. So the best person, the best candidate who prepares well for the interview, is going to get the job. So that's what the first 5-10 minutes in the interview that decides whether you are going to get the job or not. So the entire hard work, it just depends on the first 5-10 minutes in the interview, any interview. So that that sometimes what happens, if you answer the questions initially at the initial stage, that gives you more confidence, you'll be able to answer them. So what happens here, you see that but if you see that if the interview is not prepared, for example, I mean, they can easily find you out, because you will not be confident. And so better to prepare your area of expertise very well. And then the next one is, if they ask you to explain your research project, you make practice before going to the interview on the piece of paper, because they expect that you'll be able to explain them on the board. They'll check your flow of writing, the way you are explaining. So everything will be taken into account. But remember, so like most of the interviews, they never have any pre-planned questions. It's all just whatever you speak out in the interview, the questions will come from that. So that's why use your technical words very carefully. So whatever the words you really know the meaning, then only use them. Otherwise, what happens? They'll ask many questions on the technical words. So you should be very careful while using. That's why you need the mock presentation or mock interviews before going to the the final interview. That really makes you call your friends, your seniors, or maybe your family members. You ask them to you give a presentation. Just go and stand there near the board. Ask them to ask questions. Then you will come to know about your strengths, how you are answering them, like how fast you are answering them, and how confident you are. So that practice helps you. Okay. The some of the interviews usually you see that as many parts. I mean, some of them they have 3-4 levels of the interviews as well. They were going to so the first thing is understanding yourself about your skills, accomplishments, your values, and learning about the employer's organization. This is extremely important. So you need to, whichever the company you are planning, whichever institute you are planning, so they have to know about their targets, like what exactly they are working on, so what exactly they want. So based on that, you are going to prepare well. So if they ask you simple questions about them, because they're well versed with such kind of technical words, you should be able to explain them. And so accordingly you'll be able to plan your interview, and you are prepare, you are going to prepare for the interview. So then of course once it is done, then you can just see that what is the the salary, about the salary, and then like how do you deal with them. Those things and all can be discussed later. So the first question they may ask you there, when after the introduction of yourself, then what can you do for us? So remember, this question is, you have to tell them that why, what kind of skills you have for the company, and how you are going to take them there. And then you should know about your strengths very well there. So you should say that, yeah, this company is working for this kind of products. So I have the expertise in this. I'll be able to contribute to this particular aspect, and thereby I'll be able to help you. That helps you. And you should know, you have to cover all the areas. That is, you have to have the technical, the sound subject knowledge, technical knowledge. And of course communication. Some of the interviews, before the interview, they conduct the written test, because to filter many candidates. So thereby what happens is, the written also is very important. And then you are going to have the, whether they'll check whether you have the motivation or not, or you should have the innovative skills or not. That's lateral thinking skills will be checked by the written test. And you can see that whether you have the leadership qualities or not, because by group discussions and all, they'll be able to find out whether you are a good leader or a good like kind of team member. They'll be able to easily find out. And then they'll check you whether you have the problem solving skills or not. So every corner they'll say, I'm telling about the best job. So you see that they'll put you from all the corners, and they'll test you, they'll be monitoring you. And if there is any risk taking, whether you are ready for the company or not, whether you can you do that for the company or not. So then working with others as a team member or individual, that's what you should be balanced. And so whether you are dedicated or not, sometimes they may ask you to stay back in the company for maybe 2-3 days continuously, 24/7, maybe a week. Whether are you ready or not, because they want such kind of dedicated people. You can't say that, no, I don't want to work more than 7 hours, 6 hours. No, it depends on the nature of the job. Sometimes some jobs demand like that. So that helps you a lot. Okay. So these aspects are very important, when you go for the interview. And also you see that there are, information, the types of interviews, information interviews, for example, we'll go ourselves to the, like kind of companies or, potential employers, and we'll ask them their appointments, and then we'll ask the questions, and then if what is required for the job, like how do we, what is the process that we'll be able to know about now. That's one way. But the second one is screening interviews will be, you're going to apply them, and you are going to, then they're going to screen the applications. And then, so that's what some campus interviews, career fair interviews they'll conduct. And then they're going to check whether your application is appropriate or not. The site interviews will be, they'll take you to directly to the, interview place, or maybe the organization directly. And then they're going to check whether you'll be able to, you're suitable to the job or not. Of course, the last one, they ask you to give a technical presentation. They wanted to, usually this is done for the, either the after PhD, usually they ask for the presentations, technical presentations or seminars. All the experts of the company will be sitting there, and then so the concerned person has to give a presentation, and he will be asked the questions there, and he has to, justify, the with his answers, all the questions. Okay. So one of the most important aspects here is that whenever you sometimes what happens, you get some questions that you will not be able to answer them. It's a very common in many of the interviews. So if you don't know the answer, because you see hundreds of the interviewers are going to spend time for the hundreds of candidates like that. So within the time that given to you, you are if they ask a question, surely I've seen some people, they'll be thinking and they say that no, let me just I need some time, something like that. No, don't do that. That is actually wasting their valuable time. So if you don't know the answer, you just straight away say that I really don't know the answer to this question. So but don't give the wrong answer. If you give the wrong answer, that means that you don't know the answer for the question they asked, and you don't know what is the answer, what is the question for the answer that you have given. So both ways you are going to lose that. That's why if you don't know, if it's not your field, just simply say that I don't know the answer. Simple. Okay. And then you see that one of the interview modes, you see that behavioral interview, that's actually they check your that's what I told before, that about the the art of dining. So they'll apart from the technical interview, other tests actually. So this is actually one of the very kind of risk, that they'll check the behavior of the candidate. The questions they get to the candidates, that so they have to answer the questions. So they have to be very, very careful about that, about your special skills, because about your future. But they will assess the the performance of the candidate, like for the future, how they is going to work, how he is going to think about this if such condition comes. So sometimes what happens, that's why you have to be very careful while answering them. So the one of the just I want to give a few examples here, that tell me about a time when you have done a mistake that caused someone some damage to the laboratory or your company. Oh, if such incidents are there, you will be able to tell. If you don't have any incidents, you say. But so they say that any incident that you feel that you are proud, or or you are criticized. Of course, everybody is having such kind of experiences. So if you say that negatively, complete negatively, then that is not good for you. That's they're going to check you there. And you can't say that no, I never had any situation in my life so far, nobody criticized me. No, you cannot tell that, because that's completely bluff. So you should be able to, you should choose an example in such a way that you are well balanced in there. And so they also ask you sometimes, give me an example of when you exhibited leadership. So that means that you are going to show your ability skills. Yes, take some examples and you'll be able to tell that. So that's what you have to build a car there: the context, action, and result. So all these things only in a short way. Don't give essays. They don't talk about hours. Simply few sentences. You are going to wind up the context. That's all. That will be enough. And so like one of the questions actually I heard from the recently, that they asked, so if you are you are a new joiner in a company, by fortunately you met your CEO of the company in a lift for 2 minutes. For 2 minutes in a lift, you met your CEO of the company. Like for 2 minutes, otherwise it is very difficult to meet him. Otherwise, how do you how do you impress him? That's what it was the question. It was given in the interview. So that's really 2 minutes. How do you talk? I mean, you should impress him. So you have to think about such kind of questions as well. Okay. So then group or panel interviews are there. So this is more popular. And then so what happens? The group interviews. It's not actually designed to be not designed to be the stress interviews, but you are not if it is not successful, if you're not prepared well for the process. So it gives you no need to like be panicking about that, but you'll be assessed how you interact with the group. That's what they're going to check. Okay, so when you just come to the the academic positions, you need to make a bit more homework, and then you need to give, for example, you're going to, somebody is going to go to the new university or new institution, then they need to make their CV ready. So then they have to make their new research proposal and the estimation of the cost of the project and the new work, and then all these things you should work on, because sometimes they may ask you directly in the interview, like how much it costs. Then you should not say wrongly there. So get the rough estimate of that, and then you'll be able to make it. Okay, and I should tell you, mostly in most of these academic jobs, they ask the candidate to take a class for the students. So what happens? They will send this person to a classroom, and even the experts also will sit in that, and the regular class students will be there. So then they'll ask them to teach a topic. So then they will get the feedback from the students, as well as they can also assess very well. So that's what the real teacher will come out from the interview candidate. So that's what you have to prepare very well about that. So you should not give any wrong choice there. So well prepared, and should prepare well. You have to make practice it first, and then you should be able to answer the questions there for the members there. So I'm going to come to the final stage here. Like when you have to know, actually you have come to the interview level and this is your dream job. How do you protect it? So then you have to have the idea, like how to impress them. And so you have to make sure that you are preparing well for the interview well in advance, and all the fundamentals, because I'm telling you, most of the interviews, but what I have seen actually, that maybe you have wonderful CV, wonderful achievements, accomplishments, and you have beautiful well-written CV, resume, and for the position, for example, it's a good very good job. So we have the wonderful references, people are supporting you like anything, everything is fine. But I've seen some interviews, the candidate cannot make it because they ask very fundamental questions in the interview, very, very fundamental. You have done a wonderful research work, amazingly, you are amazingly good in terms of publications, patents, everything, but the fundamental science and technology should be answered there. So if you cannot answer then that gives a very bad impression about that. Oh, you don't know, you say that I forgot. Oh, you can't tell that I forgot the fundamentals about the work, that research work that you have done, not the fundamentals of everything. So there are some fundamentals that we should always remember them, right? So always we know them. So like you have to know about the definitions, you have to know about the formula, you have to know about what is the significance of that particular law, something like that. So you should be very careful about that. So for example, somebody is telling about the they're using they're developing some kind of instrument. So we all know that what instrument, you say there's some spectrophotometer or spectrometer. Then you say you should know what kind of spectrophotometer you are making it. So if it is UV visible, or if it is NMR spectrometer, or you can say that it is actually mass spectrometer, then you should know about the how do they work. So they'll ask you very fundamental questions in that. You should be able to answer it. So otherwise, what happens? It's meaningless, right? So that's what one has to be very careful about. That the fundamentals should be known very well. So those fundamentals are given in 8th, 9th, 10th standard textbooks, usually most of them. Of course, sometimes in 10+2 level also. That's what. So then you see that once you prepare well, and of course there is an importance for your outfit, what you wear there. So I've seen if you are that well dressed, people will give better striking impression. Of course, that is really true. I mean, usually that is not really, that should not be, but that shows that you are very much interested. You want to be kind of like you're attentive. You want to really focused on the job. You can wear anything, but there are some rules like that. We should go for that. And then you just prepare for the job related questions. For example, if it's a company, then make some questions out of that. What kind of questions they may ask you about the job related to their work, how they connect you to the to their work. So you just well prepared for them. Okay. And then, remember, the first impression is the best impression. So you never get a second chance. No, that's what you just remember that. But no need to be panicking about it. But that's what preparation is the key here. If you prepare well, you'll be able to answer everything there. Okay. So then next one, you see that when you introduce yourself, first few minutes is the most important. That's why you practice well about the introduction part. You prepare well, very well. So I'm so and so. I'm coming from this place. I've done my degree, BTech or whatever it is. Then I've been working in this so and so company. I'm an expertise in this so and so, like that. That helps you a lot. So the and communication, that is a body language is extremely important. It should be very pleasant, very amicable. So any company, any candidate, he must fit into the company. It should be amicable. It should be like kind of mingle with the people. So that's what you should be very careful while presenting yourself there. And so and just whenever anybody is asking you a question, just look at them in a pleasant way. And so that is also very important. Sometimes they'll test you by asking 2 questions at a time. Just you tell the other person that I know, I'm sorry, I'm coming to you, and you can answer one question. So it's like that. Okay. And so that's what I'm going to tell you. One more thing. So be ready to use the board. So that means that you are very well prepared. That tells that that speaks volumes about your confidence. So I've seen some candidates, when they come to the interview, when I ask them to go to board, I'll ask myself, hey, can you go to the board and explain the the work that you have done? I know they're very hesitant. They don't want to go to the board. I can see that from their body language. That is completely negative. Okay, right. So finally, you see that. At the end of the interview, better you just go to the board and remove the text that you have written everything on the board, erase them, and then you have to firmly say that thank you with a smile, and then you can leave. So that's the one way. I mean, don't never leave with kind of anger, or something like you are very disappointed, something like that. So just don't lose the hope. You never know, right, what they're looking from you. You never know what they're looking from you. So just don't lose the hope. What makes you like more special, I mean, than other applicants? So you have to highlight your skills and achievements. And then they may ask you, tell me about your research project that you have been. So you'll be able to explain them. What skills would you like to improve or develop? This is actually a negative way of assessing you. So that means that you are accepting your limitations, your weaknesses. So you can say that I have not had any opportunity to use the particular software package. So then if it comes, like I'll get the practice and I'll use it. That's what nicely you have to escape from that. So if you say that I want to improve my English, you say that I want to improve my subject knowledge, that's completely wrong. You will be thrown out. You'll not be taken out at all. And then, so do you prefer to work in teams or alone? This is one of the questions that test your ability. You should say that I can work independently when necessary. Otherwise, I love working in a group. You are ready for both the things. That's what you're going to tell. Okay. So why were you unemployed? This is one of the questions. Oh, this is really tough to answer. For example, if there are any gaps in your resume, be prepared to explain it. But don't complain about the tight job market. Oh, that means that many of them are getting jobs. You are only not getting. You may say that. So then you say that, and never tell that how you feel you are victim or discrimination. Never explain that. Okay. Would you lie for the company? This is one of the toughest questions they'll ask you. Or you want to, if you say yes, they say yes. Oh, you lie for the people, you lie for the company, like that. If you say no, I don't want to lie for the company, then they say that that is like maybe it may go in a negative way as well. simple way of escaping is that I would never do anything to hurt the company. Either you are also telling indirectly that either yes or no. Okay. Now, next you see that, so then this after getting the, once you are, through in the interview, then these things and all, this up to you, accepting, talking about the money and benefits and packages, accepting all this, no need to discuss about no more. Actually, I should tell you honestly that this was the workshop that I attended in US. I must be thankful to American Chemical Society. They organized this workshop in Houston, in El Paso, near Mexico border. I attended a conference there, and then I attended this workshop along with that. And so they gave this material as well as they asked us to train the young students to know how to prepare for the jobs. So that's how it has all the things have come out. Okay. So very important, whatever it is, whether you are in a job or not, you should be always staying marketable. That means that you should be ready, for any kind of job, and you have to maintain your network. You have to have the contact with the people, expand your knowledge and skills base. This is evergreen. You should have always, whatever the new technology, whatever the new, methodology, whatever it is there, you should be able to, adapt to that and make yourself visible. That means that attend the, meetings, conferences, and, you have to comment on some of the things. That means that still you are active, you are looking to all those things. That's the message you are going to give them. And be flexible. Any kind of job that you are, ready to take them. That's what I told you. Somebody will ask you, hey, can you stay there overnight? Sometimes you need to work overnight for, 2-3 days continuously. We'll take care of everything like that. So you should say, yes, I'm ready to do for the company. That's what answer. Just I'm coming to the end, the last post BTech career. What are the opportunities for the students? You see that we have the, of course, straight away MTech and PhD are there. But this, that, you can end up with the kind of faculty positions after taking them. And then of course, after getting a PhD degree, MTech also sometimes it can lead to them there to the faculty positions, or maybe MTech can give sometimes, can entry to the companies depending on their core, subjects. And of course, these days, most of them are eligible for the software jobs. So, and some of them are very particular, and they're preparing for the civil services. And some of them are, like they're ready for the, Indian engineering services. Then you see that here, some of them opt for MBA. Some of them go for the bank jobs or maybe other government jobs through GATE. So, and of course, the other private jobs are always available. So that's what it depends on what kind of job you're looking for. Some of the jobs, maybe you may not be paid much, but so if it is a reasonable, salary or something like that, you have to be very careful with your, credentials. So that's what government jobs, you need to have the GATE. That's the first criteria to, to be, to become eligible there. And then after BSc, we have the, MSc, MCA, Master of Computer Applications, MBA, Data Science, Machine Learning, Management. But, usually what happens, what I observed after BSc, even though, you go for the, of course, Master of Science, you can go for all these things. But, the salary for the BSc candidates usually is very less. Even for MSc also, it is not, it's pretty reasonable, not really much. But it is, once you complete MSc, I think it is better to go for PhD in abroad or India. Thereby you'll be able to secure the highest degree that will be always useful. You can gain more salary and more confidence, because if you stop at BSc or MSc level, usually what happens is you are going to have a lot of competition, and so you need to improve a lot to go to the next level promotions like that. So after MSc or MTech, you see that government jobs are there, project assistants in the research funded research projects, and some people go for B.Ed and school teachers, and of course teaching jobs, several competitive exams, and you see that of course PhD in India and abroad. So all these things are possible. And then you can also see that after PhD, MSc through GATE and CSR in India, and TOEFL and GRE in abroad. And you see several postdoctoral fellowships are available from funded projects, and consultancy projects are there, government jobs are there, academic jobs, several colleges, institutions are there. And so you can prepare for the competitive examinations. And then, then you can see that several chemical industries, pharma industries are there. All the best. And I just would like to, thank all my, supporters, my, I should say supervisors. The first 5 are, but now currently I'm really thankful to our beloved Vice Chancellor, beloved Chancellor, Dr. G. Viswanathan of VIT University. So it's my PhD boss, Dr. Professor U. Murali Krishna. And this is the team that PhD students, 6 students have completed. And we're here, Dr. Janardhan is here. And so I'm really thankful to all funding agencies and my research collaborators for the support. And so thank you all. And so if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. So just look at the quote given by Bill Gates. I failed in some subjects in the examination, but my friend passed in all. But he is an engineer in Microsoft, and I'm the owner of Microsoft. Right?
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for your enlightening lecture. Surely 200% it is going to enhance the skills of the audience as well as different sectors. Even when I thought to give that, after seeing the title, I am having a doubt that it will cover all aspects of the students, like, because here we got the students from UG, PG, research scholars, assistant professors, professors. So it is very difficult to cover all audience, but make sure that I am very 100% assuring that this presentation will cover all the audience. Even beyond that limit also, it will cover all kinds of audience. We are very glad that we're having you here in this session. And here I'm going to go for a short question and answer session, sir, because some of them, they have asked some questions. Okay. One question posted by Ramasankar saying, due to pandemic, sir, you, hello, Akila, sir? Akila, sir? Hello, sir. Sir, the login avanti. Okay. Please, sir, please. Okay, sir. Okay. Wait, due to some technical issue, our guest is just logged out. Wait a minute, please.
Question and answers will be finished.
I'm very happy. Question and answers will be finished. Only few questions are posted by the audience. So just will give the solutions from our guest speaker. Later on, you can provide your feedback. Meanwhile, you can provide your feedback in the chat box. The link we have given in the chat box. Please, all the participants are requested to fill that feedback form. I request all the participants to fill the feedback given in the chat box. Thank you very much, audience, for your patience in listening the lecture. We got the wonderful audience.
Chana, you have muted yourself.
Sir?
Now it is audible.
Sir, you switch on your video also, sir.
I have shared the feedback form link in chat box.
No, Manjunath sir. Okay, okay. Now I request our Honorable Principal GSS Srinivas sir to give a few words about the lecture and speaker.
Thank you, Janardhan. I'm very much thankful to our today's speaker, Professor Akala Sivaram Krishna Garu, from Department of Chemistry, Vellore Institute of Technology, for his valuable information about career improvement guidelines. So this webinar is 100% useful for all the participants, irrespective of their career plan. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. So this is a saying from the Thomas Edison. You know how many times he failed to get before inventing the bulb? 1,000 times. If you just Google, you will get it. And recently, Telangana intermediate results they are declared, and about 10 students died by committing suicide. I don't know why we suppose if somebody fails in a particular subject, why they should go give up their life. So life is very important than any other thing. So after so many prayers, we got this human life. If somebody says, so you take this life is very important. So you cannot simply suffer. So simple reasons, silly reasons, you cannot able to give up your life. This is very, very important. Many students, they generally tempted to do this type of, this is wrong, I'm telling you. And one more thing, somebody says you are not good, you are not fit for the IAS. You take that as a challenge. I have seen many people, though a person who just joined as an attender in a college, and by getting impressed by the faculty, and he did degree, PG, and he joined in the same college as a teaching profession. This is possible. So if you have willpower is there, if somebody is critics, you take it as a challenge. So nothing wrong in this. So you can do whatever you want, you can do it. That is always possible. This is only one example. So there are a lot of examples. So those who thought that people, they say that they have failed, but they proved themselves and became very big shots. For any career, so these 6 points, things are necessary. One is education, second one is vision, third one is skills, fourth one is interest, and fifth one is values, and sixth one is the goals. So nowadays, everybody is talking about soft skills, so which include verbal communication, listening, dependability, time management, working well under pressure, resourcefulness, willingness to learn, positive attitude. Okay, and these are the some of the soft. So this is also very important for career point of view. So I congratulate Professor Venkanas, HOD, Head of the Department of Chemistry, Dr. S. Janardhan, convener, and H. Manjunath, co-convener, for conducting this wonderful and useful webinar and making it a grand success. Thank you all. Stay safe. Janardhan, unmute, please unmute.
All the participants, thank you very much for your patience. Our guest is redirecting again with some technical issues. He will answer the questions. Meanwhile, I'll ask our principal sir to address some questions what the respective participants posted. I'll read the questions. Principal sir, please, you just with your knowledge, to answer these questions. So first question, due to pandemic, there is likely chance that educational institutes may be closed for longer duration. In such case, what will be the fate of visiting faculties, contractual faculties, and future of the PhD students further due to online mode of classes? Scope of new employment in education sector will be highly deployable. Ram Shankar Singh, PhD scholar. Sir, unmute yourself, sir, first.
Even though it is pandemic COVID, so nothing is stopped. I'm telling you, so for educational point of view and career development point of view, giving the class students for the taking the programmings and conducting programs are the competition point of view. So giving the encouragement, professional training, all these things are being happening. And whatever suppose in fact, so we have conducted everything online examinations, conducted courses in the online examinations, and in fact, suppose if the by August 15th or September, suppose the institute is not going to be open, it happens to all the institutes also. So we'll start the next semester through online only. So it is possible. So now everybody is equipped, having the knowledge about the this online coaching, and so they're also comfortable. They're also very comfortable. Only thing is the practical point of view, there are some difficulties are there. So that can be that work can be transferred to other time. So there is now in order to think about the practical point. So but everything can be done online. So whatever the visiting posts, all people are coming and they are connected to the online coaching. So they are giving the information, everything whatever is necessary for improvement of the institutes. So they are all in touch with the institutes. So you not to worry.
Ragila Ramakrishna sir, can you answer these questions posted by our participants? This question is from Gaurav Singh. Is this pandemic can affect job recruitment in pharma industries? Sir?
Once again.
Sir? Akila sir? Sir,
Yeah,
this question is...
Can you just, I can't see any video or anything. Hello, Janardhan?
Sir?
Yes.
Sir,
Yes, Janardhan.
Yeah. Sir, this question is from Gaurav Singh, sir. Hello.
Janardhan,
Sir, yeah.
hello.
I'm listening, sir.
Janardhan?
It is audible. Audible, sir. Audible.
One second, read the question. Sir will answer.
Sir, I'm reading again one more time. Is this pandemic can affect job recruitment in pharma industries? Okay, it is some more issue is continuing from the guest speaker side. Thereby, I'm handovering this question to again. Okay. Generally, this pandemic situation cannot affect, especially pharma industries, because nowadays, in order to cure that corona disease, generally all the R&D industries, throughout this sector, they're going to working on this production of vaccines and other drugs and all. So that's why always pharma industry requirement is more. So that's why more research has to be done. That's why even companies also they're releasing more and more budget on this, especially corona period. So that's why we don't have any problem, especially in the pharma sector. We require more scientists and PhD holders in order to cure this kind of disease. And next question is from Kirti Nilofar. Sir, it is really possible to make the chemistry environmental friendly. Yeah, we can make it 100%. Whatever the research it is going on, even though conventionally is there, but people are going for this green chemistry oriented research where completely they're focusing on this green chemistry. Even if you see the articles, whatever it is published in the scientific community, they're having more impact factor only if you publish with the green elements. Okay, now I'm going to hand over the session to Akila Sivaramakrishna sir again. Sir, this question is for you from Kirti Neelar. Sir, is it really possible to make the chemistry environmental friendly? This is the question from Kirti.
No, to be honest, it is not really easy because we are see, in order to make any product, for example, a medicinal molecule, or maybe something really useful for the industry, any material, catalyst, for example, in order to make those materials, you need to use lot of precursors, and so you need to have some kind of chemical process. So these processes maybe they're not really environmental friendly. So while making the product, we are making several other byproducts, and they're harming the environment. So that's what we cannot really make like that. There are some processes that they're called green methods, but we cannot use the green methods for everything. So we need to go for some harsh conditions or using some toxic materials in order to get the target product. That's why we cannot really make sure that whatever we are doing, whatever we are working in the chemistry research, it will be kind of non-toxic. No.
And one more question from R. Sanjana. Sir, how will we know the place where we select the job is best for us?
Yeah, that depends on, you see, there is no end for the satisfaction. So we have different levels in that, right? See, that's what we have to know about ourselves first. So what are our strengths? So based on that, we'll be able to choose the target. So the job. So that's what it depends on several factors. So the place, money, and then the comforts. See, some of the companies you feel like really heaven, no work pressure. So it's like kind of very nice way. They work like a family. So some people they prefer that. Some people they want only money sake they work. So it depends how you frame your nature of the job. Some people prefer their native place. So where they want to they want to work from there only. Then they have to sacrifice some other things like that. So it depends on that, what kind of job you want to go for.
Next question from Mr. Arun Kumar. Sir, we are trying to avoid plastic, but you are insisting plastic textile.
No, that's not actually. See, we cannot avoid plastic from our entire life. I'm telling you. See, there are some. See, we are using like kind of we are making plastic. That is means we need polymers. See, polymers when you treat them into by different process heating, pressure or additives, we are going to make them plastics. So plastics are usually articles that we are going to use. Some of the plastics are extremely useful as in the automobile industry, so we can use them as polycomposite materials. You know that. So they are replacement for the metals. So they're like much better than metals in some aspects. So we cannot really avoid plastics like that. But the only thing is, so whatever the material that we're using, like the plastic, maybe what to say, bags or something like that, we have to reduce the the usage of them. So no, we cannot avoid plastic at all. I'm telling you, because it's a part of our life now. But we need to like reduce the unnecessary usage. We should be carefully. We should not simply dispose them wherever you want. You collect them and you put them in a systematic way. Thereby, we'll be able to. They'll be recycled in those waste plastic, and we'll be able to get them into some other products. Okay. Yeah, we cannot completely eliminate the plastic.
And next question from Kirti again. How can we purify water from metgon beads, sir?
That's what actually the metgon beads. What we have seen was it's kind of the material having like a lot of active functional groups. So these functional groups, they can trap anions and cations there, and they are the main components in that. And then so they have the pores inside. So thereby what happens, water can easily pass through the pores. So thereby we'll be able to trap the the water soluble metal salts, and then easily from the water.
And next question is internship is necessary for getting job from Gaurav Singh.
Of course, that's a good training, right? See, internship is nothing but you are getting trained in the particular area of expertise. Then thereby you will get trained there. You'll be confident, and maybe the same company when you are working tomorrow, when you join there, it will be easy for you. You can understand what kind of work you are you'll be given there and how to address the work. So internships are kind of training, simple training. Yeah.
Next question is from Prithvi. How important is mental health in student life, and how to look after your mental health? That's what.
What health it is?
Like how important is mental health in student life?
Mental health.
How to take care of that?
You're telling about the mental health.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. That means like pressure, right? So yeah. See, I'm telling you, there are two ways when you work, with a kind of in a research organization or in a company. So see, when some people what they say is when the supervisor is strict, then what happens? The subordinates always will be very, very accurate, and they'll produce the goods without any problem. That's the first way of them, but that requires that gives a lot of stress to the the workers. Lot of stress will be, they'll be afraid always, they want to complete in time. So that's kind of stress that is created. Whereas you see the second type, they're very friendly. They'll be the boss will be always approachable, and they will not really insist. The work just goes, but it may be delayed slightly. So it depends on that. So where you are working, under whom you are working, so which company you are working, it depends, all other factors.
Next question is from Lakshmi Kant. What are the jobs are available after completing of B Pharmacy?
So B Pharmacy, they have the, for example, most of the pharmaceutical industries, they are taking B Pharmacy students for the jobs, right? You can just, look for the internship first, and then you can, go for the next level, whether if they take you for a job, that will be all right. So there are so many pharmaceutical companies, they're preferring, B Pharmacy students.
Next question from the Jyoti. Sir, is webinar certificate are useful in resume?
Yes, obviously it is useful, right? So see, you can say that you have attended some kind of lecture that motivated you. So you've got some kind of information that is useful for you. So obviously you are confident, right? So you can claim that as one of your accomplishments.
Next question is from Ramesh, during this lockdown time, how to be motivated and how can we start to build our skills?
That's what the only way is you have to attend the webinars, online virtual conferences and virtual, any of the classes, there are some certificate courses from Coursera, some other, like sources, platforms. Just they have to register there and they have to, they'll be able to engage themselves to learn more, technical skills as well as, through experts, they can learn from the webinars.
This question is from Harshini. Hi, respected sir. I am studying BSc CBZ. After completing my MSc in zoology, so what are the research jobs I will get?
Yeah, that's what she can go for, PhD as a, she can work in a project, research project, and then the funded research project, and as a research assistant or project assistant, or maybe JRF, she can do her PhD, or maybe some kind of research organizations they're looking for MSc, zoology students, so they can she can also approach them.
Next question. How does interpersonal communication boost one's academic career? How does interpersonal communication boost one's academic career?
Yeah, that is very important, right? You should have the good rapport with the next person. So then only you will be able to gain. I should tell you that some of the students usually they don't like they do group study. So they'll understand the concepts and they discuss openly. Thereby, they enhance their skills, in an elegant way. So that's why interpersonal skills are extremely important. When you work in an organization, you need to depend on the next person. So you should have the good rapport with the person.
Next question is from Bharati. How to know on what content the research work is going on? Suggest any references, magazines or books. Maybe they are looking for some current research area. How to search that? Through magazines?
It depends on what kind of area they want to work. So depending on that, there are some publishers. We can refer to their websites. They can go to the concerned journals and they can search for the topics.
Sir, this is one more question. Sir, after my PG organic chemistry, what to do next, sir? As I want to do research.
Yeah, that's what. There are so many opportunities for the MSc organic chemistry students. So when one can go for the the industrial job, maybe you can go for PhD in India and abroad. So PhD in India, there are some countries they don't need any kind of TOEFL or GRE scores. You can directly approach them, and if the project is if both sides mutually okay, then you can just go to the concerned a professor. So for some countries they need English language, the TOEFL, and then they also want the GRE reasoning. So based on the scores only they'll give the admission, like US. So that's what you can prefer if you're interested in research. If in India, prepare well for the CSIR examination. That puts you in the best place.
And one more question. Good afternoon, sir. Are there only 2 exams for PhD in abroad? How much we get merits in PhD for abroad?
Yeah, no, that's what some countries they offer only they want TOEFL and GRE scores. Of course, the best universities I'm telling you. So usually they give some fellowship to the students, and it is really good amount. And sometimes what happens, they also give the like kind of a tutor job, like kind of so that also they can earn a bit of money there. So it's really good. It's they can save a bit of amount from that as well.
One more question, sir, from Udayasri. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, after BSc Nursing, MBA, it is useful or not, sir?
It depends on what kind of job you want to settle. So if you are really interested in your core subject, then I don't think MBA is useful. Or if you have some other like kind of you want to connect your area with the marketing, then go for MBA.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. I am studying UG chemistry. What jobs are available for that degree? UG chemistry job.
UG
He's
chemistry.
studying UG chemistry. So what kind of jobs they are available for UG chemistry?
No. There are some jobs actually. For example, some the private companies, they take some chemists, but based on the BSc degree, but usually they don't pay much. There are some government jobs available actually. For example, on 10+2 scale, or sometimes BSc scale, but that they're all right. But that you need to wait for the job advertisements. But my suggestion is don't stop with the UG. So go for the higher studies. So that gives you knowledge as well as good payment later on for in the jobs.
This is from Likita. One more question, sir. It is advantageous to take MBA after BSc nursing again.
The same thing that no.
Okay.
Okay.
Next question from Venkata Hemakumar. Could you help me for publishing papers? Till now, I have 17 years experience in the synthesis of R&D, but no paper till now.
Oh, then if he's working in a company, because usually they don't want to reveal their the research work, what they're doing, what is the process they're involved in that. Then some of the companies, they're very strict about this publishing articles. But he has to inquire in the with his the next boss, that whether they'll be able to publish some of the work, maybe not connected to any patent or something. They'll be able to publish. He has to take permission. But there are several students, several people from the industries, they're able to publish like that. So I think it is possible, but they have to take permission from the industry prior to this.
Next question is from Raju. Sir, I want to do a PhD in commerce. Sir, it is useful or not?
Yeah, for example, if somebody is looking for a kind of a teaching position, in any university or institution, then PhD is really very important. So these days, most of the institutions, they are going to recruit only PhD candidates. So in that case, it is really useful, but it depends on what kind of interest the concerned person is having there. So if it is simple, like kind of they want to go for some marketing job or something like that, no, not required. PhD is not required for them. It's only they want to have the expertise in in the concerned area. That will be enough.
This question is from Rajasekhar. How much percentage of the research we can convert to human beneficiaries?
Research.
How much percentage of the ongoing research we can convert it into human beneficiaries?
No, I'll tell you. You see, whatever that we are doing research, it is not really getting converted into the useful, to the world. But we never know when it is going to be useful. See, for example, we know that one of the anti-cancer drug, it's called cisplatin, that was discovered long back. I mean, that was made in early 19th century. But now you see that later on, after maybe 60 years, 70 years later, they found that it is highly useful for killing the cancer cells. So we don't know when it is going to be useful, right? But anyhow, it's better to work with the relevant the relevance to the industries and the problems. Then it will be useful. But at the same time, we cannot tell that the particular research work is not good. This is good, like that. We cannot tell. We never know when it is going to be useful, right? See, for example, you just see that antiviral drugs until before COVID, I mean, it was there, but we never really cared about that. Not much. But now you see how much importance now we got. We never know, right?
Yes, sir. This question is from Ramana. How one can get good impact journals?
Yeah, that you need to have the quality, research work. I mean, whatever the work you do, you need to use the, high-end infrastructure. All the instrumental facilities should be used in a systematic way and logically applied. So that's what you have to use your innovative idea, how best you'll be able to present the work there. So without instrumentation, without the data of the concerned project, I mean from the instruments, we cannot really get into a good journal.
This question is from Dr. Shruti. What are the thrust areas in the current generation?
Yeah, that's what the water purification is very important. Water storage. See, we are, for example, we are getting rainfall, from some of the hill stations, very good rainfall. But you see that after a few days, you see there won't be much water available on the hill stations. So then, can we really store that rainwater on hill stations or maybe wherever it is? Then thereby we'll be able to use it for the future applications. That's the biggest challenge. But still, we have not achieved that.
Okay, sir. Thank you. This is about question and answer session. I would like to thank our guest of honor. Really, the session is completely without any doubt. This is a brainstorming session for all kinds of audience. Even the professors will get the information how to tackle their students, how to solve their problems in that career. Surely, this will help the respective participants to enhance their career from tomorrow onwards with the respective lecture, undoubtedly. And I would like to thank again our guest speaker, Professor Akila Sivaramakrishna sir, for his wonderful lecture. Because even though his speech is around 2 hours, more than 2 hours, still we are maintaining the strength as it is. Thereby, we can clearly tell that how that presentation is completely, it is moving into the brains of the participants and made it huge success. Thank you very much, sir, for your.
Thank you very much.
And in this occasion, I would like to thank our Honorable President, Sri Bharat Garu, Honorable VC, Professor Sivaramakrishna Garu, Honorable Register, Sri Balaji Garu, Honorable Bengaluru Campus In Charge, Sri Shailendra Garu, Honorable Director of Admissions and Administration, Vamsi Garu, Honorable Principal of GSS, Professor K. Srinivas Garu, for their continuous and constant support throughout these activities. And I extend my thanks to our departmental chair, Dr. R. Venkatanath Garu, for continuous support in handling all kinds of things, and co-convener Dr. Manjunath Garu for his continuous help during this activity webinar. And I would like to extend all my gratitude to my colleagues, especially from the chemistry department and the faculty of GSS and faculty of SOT for their continuous support and encouragement. And I will extend my thanks to our designer Manikanta and Gopi, admission officer Gopi, okay, for their activities. Without them, we cannot present this very clearly. And okay, thanks to all the participants, and thank you for your encouragement in conducting this kind of activities. And certificates will be provided within 10 days. We'll share the links with you. Those who are having some difficulty, they can fill that links again. Thank you very much. And also, we have recorded this session through YouTube. We'll share this YouTube session also to all the 1,000 participants from across the world. Thank you very much. And thank you, sir. Thank you again from the Geetam.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
nice
very much.
meeting you all. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And the participants, if you have any queries, please post the queries in chat box or through mail. Then we'll answer that questions. Thank you very much.